So recently we had an amazing RoboTaxi event at Tesla, and I got to see some really innovative stuff. We got to check out the new Optimus robots and how far they've come along. We got to see the great new technology that they're putting out as they showed us kind of this trolley type of minivan or van that was very futuristic. We also got to see the actual RoboTaxi, and the car looked really cool. But there's some things that really kind of might be responsible for this. What was it, 8% downturn on Friday that we saw? And as you guys know, I've been covering Tesla stock the past week. I was holding a portion of my Tesla stock. Now, I had sold a good amount of it before the event because, as you guys know, I don't follow events as a main catalyst for how you should make money. I don't, because they're just so volatile. They're so volatile. They're so all over the place, right? I have a friend that sent me a video that was showing on Twitter exactly, or on X, exactly how these robots, these Optimus robots, were interacting. There's a few things that stood out to me. One thing that I have to mention, this is the reality, right? There's a lot of hype. It was a very beautiful event. But before I get into that and what the tech looks like, I have the screenshot from 2020. And I remember sending my friend Ben Fogiel, who invested in Tesla back in 2013, I sent him this screenshot in 2020. And I remember saying, wow, we should buy multiple Teslas and we should do RoboTaxi and have them go drive Uber and Uber Eats and Lyft and everything else so that they can earn money. And they were predicting that every Tesla could make around $40,000 a year if it was going and Ubering people around. And it was just this euphoric moment. I screenshotted it. I remember it was from Robinhood Snacks. And I remember thinking, and I remember calling him up. I'm like, dude, we should buy multiple Teslas. And we were really hyped about the idea. That was 2020. So every year since then, we've seen Elon say next year. And of course, in this event, he said next year. And even so, in this event, while maybe some people are saying 2030 is when it's going to happen, to see that there was the actual car was put together, that was nice. But to hear again, it's kind of like when we see it is when I'll believe it, right? Now, as someone that likes Tesla, realistically, it would be great if next year really was when they roll it out. They've said that in Austin, Texas, and in California and parts of California, they will be able to do fully autonomous Tesla driving here. But of course, there's going to be some regulation they're going to have to pass. And then at that point, we could see RoboTaxi actually working in those areas. The tech itself, one thing that I like about Tesla is that they follow AI as they use AI in their cars. And the reason that that's important is because if you look at a company like Waymo that offers fully autonomous driving right now in San Francisco, California, for example, they have a lot of hardware on their car. They have a big sensor. They have multiple sensors all around the car. It is very decked out with a lot of hardware. A lot of it's hard-coded for how it's supposed to drive. And there's no AI per se in the actual car. However, Tesla has been putting cameras on all of the cars and collecting billions of data points from all of the Teslas around the world, which is learning it. There's an AI learning aspect that not only will make the car be able to be much more powerful in any given situation than a hard-coded car that's driving around, but it will require less hardware, and it would ultimately allow them to take that same AI learning and apply it to other things, like, for example, the Optimus robot. And so that AI approach, as opposed to hard coding, while it's a much longer term trajectory, it's much favorable in the long term, but it's really hard to watch them keep postponing, the releases of the RoboTaxi and actually having it in the market is fully autonomous. And that's the thing that is hurting them in the short term. So look at the long-term trajectory. I'd love to see it. One thing I noticed about the events, and I could be totally wrong about this, maybe there's another source that we can look at, but to me, it seemed like those robots were actually controlled by humans. So the Optimus robot was not fully, it wasn't fully running on its own with AI. It was more of a show. And you could even, there was one clip I saw of a guy talking with Optimus, and Optimus was talking and it was responding back like immediately. And I heard it say like, the guy was like, and it sounded like not really like AI. It sounded like someone was on a microphone talking as the robot. So a little bit less. There's also parts where the robots were all dancing, and it very much looked like pre-programmed for the whole event. So that's something, to look at. I would have loved to see a contrast between you have the robots doing what they're doing, and then, with their programming, but then they also have some showcase of Optimus in total AI and on its own and not being hard-coded, but, actually showing what it's capable of doing right now in this moment without hard coding. Of course, the hard coding actually, it could be relevant. If you think about it, you have an Optimus robot in a business or in your home doing certain things. There might be an actual hard-coded, or like this is a set, kind of like a prompt for what you want it to do exactly, and you don't want it to steer outside of doing that, and you want it to do exactly what it's supposed to do in its working environment or as a steward in a home or what have you, right? So so that part does kind of tie in. I'm not sure if it was humans on a microphone and it was fully programmed, but that's how it seemed. The other thing that I saw that really, I was really intrigued by the car. It looked, to me, very futuristic, and I don't think there's a future in the future. If there is going to be fully autonomous cars, that's probably how they were going to look like, and I think Tesla is on the right track. But however, the thing that I didn't really see as normal, I've driven in some on fully autopilot and the self-driving mode in the Teslas, and it seemed like the Tesla RoboTaxi was also like kind of hard-coded. It seemed like it was, supposed to do a certain thing. It could have been that it was hard-coded in a sense to go from point A to point B, and then it ran its own autonomous scripts, but something there seemed like it was possible. I saw an article of someone that said that the blinker should have turned off earlier after or a blinker that turned, it should have turned off earlier after the car made its movement, and that it doesn't normally do that in autonomous driving, which means it probably wasn't on the normal hardware script. It could be a new unreleased software, and that makes sense as well. So overall, though, it's something to be excited about for me long term. I think so. And on one hand, you want to be upset, right? You want to be like, at least I was feeling like, oh, well, it's all show. Let's get some hard facts for exactly where the tech's going to be. But on the other hand, it's kind of like, well, if we're going to get to have these things in the future, like we need to see what that really looks like and get excited for the future as well. And we've seen a lot of companies do that. It's, as we were watching there's a video that shows before the actual live video started, the live stream. And that video was literally a video sales letter. It was like, this is going to change everything. And it was pointing out struggles. And it was really a video sales letter written by a copywriter. If you look at that video and you look at the text and how they're marketing it, it's amazing. If you really look at it, it's a video sales letter. If you're a marketer or a business person, to a T. The other part about that is that whenever you see a car commercial, are the cars exactly how they are in real life? No, oftentimes they're like way cleaner. They look beautiful. They're more color corrected. They're more shiny. They're doing things that most drivers would never do. They're off-road and doing all these things, right, to get amazing shots. And if you think about Tesla, they don't have marketing that they do. They don't do paid advertising. So their only marketing is when they do these showcase product events. So it kind of makes sense that they're going to do as much production and as much kind of set the stage to make this look and maybe even exaggerate or just portray Tesla tech in the best way possible. So and maybe that means using some commercialization. I mean, they shot it in Hollywood, in LA. So it's like, obviously that's kind of the intention. And then all of the users, people that are going to share the live stream and the content, will be their marketing. So in a way, it actually makes sense that they would use production and that they would set the stage and really try and glamorize the Tesla and what it is as a product. I mean, if you had a product and you weren't doing any marketing at all, you'd probably see these events when you're getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people watching it in the first few hours. You're going to want to make that as the best material that can be used as marketing, not by you, but by the viewers. And I think that's what their intention was with the event as well. Overall, there's some great stuff happening with Tesla. It is a little sad to see them keep postponing it and keep looking for the future, but we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.